Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach and we're doing another Ecomi Omi VeVe video as per usual. Currently the price is 0.002788 on a low of 2496 and a high of 2946 over the past 24 hours. Now today I want to go over some more VeVe Metaverse stuff or VeVeverse stuff. We've made a few videos lately going into certain games to sort of show off what the VeVe Metaverse could look like and why and how Omi can be burnt in all sorts of places through a digital metaverse essentially. Now we went over last time looking at the music industry, at least part one of the music industry, essentially how places in the metaverse that can use music essentially and burn Omi and other things regarding how the showroom can eventually turn into and essentially transform into a living space. And we're going to jump into GTA for all of this right now because I think we have some really interesting stuff to look at. We're actually in GTA as we speak, and of course this is my character. Let's go into first person mode for a second. So of course this is my apartment, this is my bedroom right here, and we have a magazine, we have a book right here. You will have seen my apartment if you've watched my previous videos about this, but essentially we're looking at how, for example, this magazine could be a comic book in the VeVe Metaverse, which of course you could then read and enjoy. Same thing with the book, and then you could also see VeVe NFTs right here, like you could see a Lvmh here, for example, but these GTA apartments are fully furnished when you buy them. And this is where things get really interesting, right? So I've literally just spawned into GTA, right? I'm in my apartment, it's nighttime, and I have all these posters right here, which you can imagine being, of course, already NFT posters, right? We've seen many posters in VeVe, and there's no reason why we couldn't see them being sort of added onto these walls. But in this living space, of course, we have got a clothes, or basically a sort of storage room for clothes, right? And of course, this is where part of the high-end luxury brands could be a part of. So right now, if I wanted to change my clothes, I would press E, and then I could go into my clothing, and I can change into different outfits. So I could go into saved outfits, or I can go and select certain tops. So that could be me if I want to go topless, but I don't really want to go topless right now. And I could also have different trousers on, right? So in GTA it's called pants, and obviously I only have one pair of jeans because I don't play this game very much, but you could have many pairs of jeans, you could have many trousers or pants, and whatever you want basically. Whichever licenses essentially work with, well, whichever companies want to work with VeVe would essentially be able to be in this storage room, if you like, and they would be able to be a part of the metaverse where you can essentially log in, be your character, and you can change around, of course. I just realized I've been calling this a storage room. It's a closet. It's a closet, friends. I know people would be like, it's a closet. What are you talking about, dude? Anyway, we're going to go upstairs, right? And we can obviously see my apartment. I'm going to go up here. Now, of course, let's go back to third person so we can see the clothes, because this is part of what I'm talking about, right? Is you're in a living space, and of course you can see your character. Of course, I'm wearing some very sort of standard clothing, I think high end specifically. I have my TV over there, I have a fireplace over here, and already I want to go into the kitchen, right? Now the kitchen itself, this itself could be a perfect position for high-end brands. Why do I say that? Well, wine. Obviously, wine is oftentimes sort of a collector's item, something that people sort of store, you know, and enjoy and can have conversations about, right? And you could literally have wine, high-end wine in your kitchen. Now, we're going to go over what sort of high-end wine we're talking about. Because if we go over to the internet, right, and we go over to a brand that we already know is working with VeVe, which of course is Lvmh, right? Lvmh is already working with VeVe. Now let's have a look at all of these different subsidiaries that is under Lvmh. We have wines and spirits. We have fashion and leather goods. So already two other things that we've spoken about are the first two subsidiary topics in the Wikipedia part of Lvmh's Wikipedia. We have perfume and cosmetics, right? Watches and jewelry, selected retailing, and other activities such as hotels, luxury yachts, etc. Now, all of this stuff in general could be applied to what we see right here. So for example, with wines and spirits, I don't have any wine here. I don't think, actually, no, we do have wine here. So this could be what we could see in the VeVeverse, right? Where you could literally buy high-end wine and you could enjoy it with your friends. Now, that sounds a bit weird, right, to some of you who don't play video games, but people who do play video games, and there are millions, hundreds of millions of people who do this, would enjoy this. And honestly, I think there's a number of people who would definitely be able to get into this if they tried it out. Moving forward though, let's go and enter our garage, and you'll see that I have some cars in here. We're going to get into one of my cars, and I want to show you something else in GTA, which will hopefully translate over to the VeVe Metaverse as it becomes available. So let's drive out of here, and I want to show you the some examples. So as you can see right here, let's finally turn this on. Now you should be able to hear my car and stuff. Let's press P, and that will give me my map. Now this map will be somewhat similar, I hope, to what we would see in the VeVeverse, where essentially you would see a map that you could sort of use to find where you're going. You could hopefully visit other people, you can play games, you can watch movies, etc. And when I say that, I really mean it. Let's go over really quickly. In fact, we are right here, so there's actually a theater right over here. I want to go over to this theater because what I want to show you excuse my driving. Let's just get this, shall we? It won't take me 2 minutes. Okay, here we are. It was literally around the corner. Okay, so here we go. So right here we have Ponce and Bees. Now Ponce and Bees is one of the high-end shops within GTA. Here we can buy clothes essentially, and they're expensive, right? So this is the high-end retailer in GTA. Now, if we quickly leave the store, we of course see on the other side of the store, we see wine, right? We see a wine merchant. So we could literally, I should be looking around. We could literally buy some wine from the store, go to our apartment, drink it, and have a chat with friends. Moving forward though, if we go over to the other side of the street again where Ponce and Bees was, and we go over to the cinema, think about all the IPs that VeVe has already got connections with, right? We're talking about Creative Licensing Corp, right? For example, if we go over to Creative Licensing Corp, we will see right here, whoopsie, we'll see all the different properties that Creative Licensing Corp has. Now, this company is working with VeVe already. We know this because we're seeing NFTs from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And no doubt, and we've spoken about this already, but I haven't posted it yet, but you should see it by the time I've posted it, that we will likely see Rambo and Terminator NFTs as well. Now, think about all of the different IPs that we could see in a film. Now, in GTA, you can't actually, can you? Maybe you can go in here. I don't play it enough. Sorry, the movie theater is closed, opening times 10 AM to 11. Okay. Whatever. So if we could actually go in there, because it's currently, what time is it? It's currently 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So we can't go in there right now, but you can imagine where this is going to go. And reality is that a lot of what I'm showing you is showing you within the confinements of GTA. The reality is that the VeVeverse should be a lot more open than this. There should be a lot more that we can do, including obviously watching films, playing sports, which obviously would be video game sports, etc., right? And obviously at some point with wearables, it won't be so much video game. It'll be sort of a mixture between real life sports and sort of digital sports, right? That would be really interesting. But every time that you want to go to a film, say there's a new release, for example, right now, obviously, VeVe have put out some teasers towards Spider-Man Miles Morales, or at least that's what a lot of people think. And a lot of people think that is going to be the next IP because we've seen some teasers and there's an anniversary, I think, or some sort of release coming out soon. It would only make sense for us to see in a digital age, VeVe to be able to, hopefully in the VeVeverse, be able to actually watch new releases even if you buy a certain NFT or if you buy certain whatever, right, with Omi. And this is where all the Omi burns come in. So say, for example, you spend $50 to watch something or watch a film even early, right? Or $100 or a couple $100 to watch a film early. All of that should be possible within the VeVeVerse. And of course, each of these things will cost Omi. So all these things will burn Omi. Already, we've looked at buying wine, you know, chilling out, talking with friends, etc. Going over to the films, for example, watching a new release like Spider-Man Miles Morales. Thankfully, obviously, VeVe has a lot of licensed IPs that we are working with. DC, Marvel, Disney, most likely, Creative Licensing Corp, and I'm sure there'll be more, considering as well that VeVe only has roughly 400,000 people on it right now. And there's barely been any marketing. Once there are many millions of people, many IPs will want to be on board, right? Because at the end of the day, there's revenue here, right? There's revenue, and they will all make a lot of money. So let's continue in here, right? Let's see. So we can browse pants, right? And we can see that there are all these different things that we can buy regarding clothes. So I'm on the pants end of it, and we can look at work pants, for example. And you can see here that each of these pants cost a certain amount of money depending on the brand, maybe depending on the quality, etc. Now the reality is, well, I'm not going to be buying any of this because I just don't need it, but reality is that some people will want to buy this, and they'll be hopefully Gucci, which is likely, I think, and I'll actually show you why I think we could see Gucci at some point. It's a bit further on, but let's quickly go over to something that I've noticed, which is 100 Thieves x Gucci. 100 Thieves Gucci is essentially a collaboration that we've seen between an esports brand and Gucci, right? They've essentially done a collaboration where they have clothes now with Gucci. Now, the reality is that it's very likely, in my opinion, that when Gucci are working with 100 Thieves, they're trying to reach many corners of the market. And if they're trying to do that, my guess is that eventually we will see NFTs with Gucci as well. Having said that, though, as we can see right here, we have the clothes store, and you can kind of get the point with that, right? You can essentially buy many different clothes. And why would you buy? Oh my gosh, all the calls in this game. That's one problem with this game right now, is that you get like a call every 5 minutes from people trying to like sell you something. Anyway, getting back in the car. Now I want to take a look at the casino. Okay, so we've made our way to the casino. Now, this is the Diamond Casino and Resort. Now, this is one of the most high-end parts of GTA, where essentially you can go in here and you'll see very soon quite a high-end place, right? So you have people in luxury clothing, basically, right? So you see here very smart clothes. So at the desk right here, you have a car that is sort of on giveaway potentially. People got to gamble and then they can potentially win that car. But you can see right here where this is all leading to, right? So I could get a drink right here. I could buy any sort of drink, and keeping in mind that mainstream beverage brands are getting into NFTs, right? We're seeing Budweiser getting into it with, I think, VeVe NFT, which is Gary Vee's consultancy firm for NFT related projects. But you could see here, right, you could buy any NFT based drinks, right? You could walk around, you know, essentially you have your Gucci or your Balenciaga or whatever on, and it's social currency, right? This is what social currency is, and you'll obviously be paying a premium for a Gucci top over, say, for example, a standard non-designer clothing top. This is actually quite a large area. In fact, let's go through it a little bit so you can see roughly how large this really is. So you have here a wheel that you can spin, and then you can win certain stuff. There's these slots machines over here, which of course all of this would burn Omi, but we're going to have a look at sort of casino stuff more in depth at some other point. We also have a horse track where you can bet on horses, and of course that would all burn Omi, and so on and so forth. And of course, everything you're wearing here, what you're drinking, etc., can basically burn Omi, right? It can be stuff that you own and then even sell at a later date, right? Because that's generally also part of the beauty of NFTs. Having said that, let's use the exit and go to where else I wanted to go, which is also the music locker. Some of you will have already seen this, but I still want to show it because I think it will be a great example for those of you who haven't seen it. And after that, we're going to go to a few other places, and then that's where we're going to call it there as far as this video is concerned, because there's so much that I want to go over. I can't fit it all into this video realistically. We can see here that there's a race club and restaurant. We can't go in there, which hopefully with VeVe we would be able to access pretty much everything that we see, right? There's a lot in GTA. There is a lot of buildings that you can't access because they just simply didn't make anything for that. You can just see it, and it basically is indicative or represents and symbolizes an open world. But there's actually a place that you can go into. You've probably seen it if you've been watching my channel, where basically you have to pay a $150 entry fee, which in VeVe terms would obviously be Omi. So we see right here, So I got to pay $150. Now I bought my ticket, which of course would be in Omi, and then you'd go in here and you would be able to enjoy yourself, right? So you can come in here, have a drink, and sort of relax, talk with friends, etc. And of course, whatever you're wearing will be what you want to represent, which again, that can be designer clothing or it can be non-designer clothing. Either way though, you can see how this would, when you have hopefully over 100 million people, hundreds of millions of people on the servers wanting to buy any sort of designer clothing, this would dominate. The amount of money this will make, the amount of Omi this will burn will be absolutely ridiculous. Now, finally, if we look at this map, right, this is a very, in my opinion, brief version, I think, of what the VeVe needs to be. You can see right here that there is essentially a lot of roads, there's a lot of sort of locations. The reality is that there are a certain number of events and activities that you can take part in. So for example, right here, you have a film, a theater, right? You can watch films here. We've already been to one theater, so you've seen what that looks like. You can also go to a shop, right? And you could buy anything there, whether that's a snack, whether it's a drink, and that may replenish your health or whatever it might be, right? On the other end, there's a beach right here, and you can actually go to a theme park, which we'll have a look at in a different video. And so there are all these different places that you can go and do things in GTA, which hopefully, obviously, would end up being in the VeVeverse at some point. And so anything that you buy, anything that you partake in, essentially, will end up burning Omi. And essentially, with many people on here, you know, the more people who are on here, the more people who value this, the more valuable this will end up being, which will end up eventually burning more and more Omi as things go on. So that's what I see right now as far as the VeVe is concerned. It's really early on, but this is what I essentially envision. I envision an open world like this, where you're wearing whatever you want to wear, you're drinking whatever you want to drink, you're doing whatever you want to do essentially. You may even be able to work in the VeVeverse, right? You may be, I'm hoping honestly that people will be working at the counter, that people will be able to, you know, drive taxis around and make money from that. I'm hoping that people will actually be able to make a living within the VeVeverse. And all of these things, of course, will take a lot of time, but as far as high-end like luxury is concerned, etc., when we think and look at the reports, right, the financial highlights, look at this right here. So this is Lvmh's financial like highlights, and we see here we have wines, spirits, fashion and leather goods, perfumes, cosmetics, watches and jewelry, selective retailing. All of this stuff is very doable within a virtual environment, and I truly believe that is what VeVe needs to incorporate. As we can see here, we have all of this amazing amount of money that's made. Shut up. This freaking phone. There's a lot of stuff that can be done here, and I'm very excited for it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If this video was interesting or helped you, like, always much appreciated. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're new. I'm honestly kind of tired. I've recorded a lot of video today, and I have more to record tomorrow, so I'm going to finish it there. But make sure to follow me on ZakiZoo. That's my Twitter handle, and I'll catch you all very soon. Take it easy, everyone, in a bit, and I'll see you in the next video.